My goal in 2026 is to play 12 games released this year, more or less to completion. I've rolled credits on 5 games and have put several hours into 3 more, so I'm more or less on pace depending on if I actually return to any of the games I've not yet completed. That said, it's bugged me all year that I missed one of the most critically acclaimed games of 2025, Blueprints. Blueprints is a roguelike puzzle game where you play as a 14-year-old boy who is the heir to a giant estate that features a mansion where the rooms are in a different place every day. The condition of your inheritance is that you must find the elusive Room 46. Mechanically speaking, this involves drafting rooms one after another on a 5x9 grid, solving puzzles, and getting bits and pieces of lore within. It has elements of a board game mixed with escape room style puzzles and Dark Souls style lore breadcrumbs, all combined in a way that could only work in a video game. I listened to a lot of video game review podcasts, and reviewers made some big claims about how great and unique and multi-layered this game is, how you need to go in knowing absolutely nothing, etc. I wouldn't go as far as that, but I did find the game pretty enjoyable. One of my favorite things about the game involves the progression hooks. You draft a new house every day, but as you complete certain puzzles, you unlock permanent upgrades that help you get closer and closer to the goal. These upgrades are spaced out well enough that you usually find something new in every hour-long play session. Sometimes this is access to a new room, sometimes it's an increase to the resources you start your day with, and sometimes it's a change to the map outside the house that does not reset at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for upgrades that give me a 3% bonus to hitting orcs every other Tuesday, but it is nice to play a game where it feels this good to discover a new room. As far as lore and reveals and such, this is where some of the reviews felt a bit overblown. Now, I haven't unlocked everything, but I did roll credits on the game. I won't spoil anything, but most of what I experienced was surface level gameplay. I built rooms and solved puzzles until I had the right combination of resources and luck to unlock Room 46. The endgame did expand a bit beyond the house, but the way some reviewers were talking, it made it sound like the base game was just the tutorial and I'd find an inverted castle like the one in Symphony of the Night, or that this was some sort of deconstruction of the genre with a twist on the level of games like Doki Doki Literature Club or Undertale. This isn't one of those, or at least I didn't get to that part of the game if it is. I have put a few hours into the post-game, and it's mostly more difficult puzzles that lead to additional lore. I can see why people would dive super deep into this sort of thing, but I'm the guy who spent 250 hours on Elden Ring without learning what the Elden Ring is. So I'm not super interested in continuing. And that's not a bad thing. I actually stayed away from this game last year in part because I was afraid I'd be committing to either a frustrating and incomplete experience or 100 hours of repetitive gameplay. One of my biggest complaints about Undertale is that the first time you play the game, it almost certainly gives you an unsatisfying and insulting ending. That's not Blueprints. When I rolled credits on Blueprints, I felt like I'd achieved the goal of the game and that it didn't overstay its welcome. The last thing I'll say about the game and people who talk about the game encourage you to take notes. Maybe this is part of why the endgame lore didn't totally resonate with me, but I didn't take any notes. I'm not that sort of player. I did, however, take a bunch of screenshots, and I'll end the video with those screenshots. Don't worry about spoilers. Most of them didn't help at all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me about any games that you missed out on last year.